Welcome to another episode, Focus in Finance. I'm Shirley Luu, your host. So here's the deal. Today I have Dr. Raj again back in the studio because you know what? Of course, you can't leave things undone and things unfinished. The last time, welcome back, Dr. Raj.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
We had a lot of fun doing these episodes with you.
You know what? I'm going to have him coming back all the time, probably, guys.
Uh-oh.
And you know, of course, Dr. Raj here specializes in health, as a matter of fact, screening proactively to check out everything that you have, not just regular checkup, but go above and beyond regular checkup, where you basically can find your health and finding out, okay, can I be proactively planned about knowing what my body, what's going on with it? Is my lung okay? Is my heart okay? Is my liver okay? These are the critical things. That's where Dr. Raj comes in. But the last conversation we had with Dr. Raj, we ended the show, I was talking something about how a retiree, retiring, and the wife was going to get $1,500 basically.
And you were going to turn it into $500,000.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did I, right? And then he was like, "How in the heck does that happen?"
Right.
Right. And
Magic wand you were going to?
I know. And what I'm about to say, you can probably say, "Oh my God, it's the biggest scam." And other. Okay. So here's how the story goes.
Okay.
I'll recap it. Husband and wife comes in. He's retiring from the federal government, and a lot of people out there are retiring from government, especially right now with all the job layoffs happening.
That's right.
And most of them, when hundreds of thousands of them are retiring, and what they do is they bring you in. Imagine this, doctor. You're retiring. You come in and say, "Hey, doctor, do you love Dr. Nalima?"
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Of course.
He loves her, right? So imagine he's at a job where he's working for a company and he's retiring. And so the company brings him in and they say, "Hey, luckily you're one of those people that have a pension plan."
Right.
By the way, a lot of pension plans are gone nowadays, you guys. It's just that some of you can have it. You've been fortunate enough to have it.
That's right. But as jobs disappear,
I know.
benefits are going down.
That's right. And most companies today are not offering any kind of pension. But in this case, this guy did have a pension.
Federal government, right.
So imagine this, you're retiring, you get a pension plan that's coming to you. In this case, he's getting around $2,700, okay, a pension every month. So it's good, right? At least it's still not enough to survive, but because he's going to get Social Security and other stuff.
On top of that,
it's helpful, right? So imagine you're this person, I'm talking to you, I said, "Okay, you're going to retire, congratulations." I said, "So let me ask you about your pension plan. When you sign the paperwork that you retire, they're probably more likely, most of you, they're asking you, hey, do you have a spouse?" In your case, you.
of course.
Right. And I would ask you the next question, do you want your spouse to continue getting your money, pension plan, when you die? What do you think the answer is?
Of course.
Right. So I'm the human resource director.
Right.
I say, well, we can make that happen. She'll probably get about half of that pension plan. And
Is
to
that
you,
because of how it's set up?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So most pension plan out there, you don't get the full. You get a piece of half of it.
Right, the spouse.
The spouse have half of it, and it again depends on the company you have. They'll tell you how much it is. You know, everybody's different. So let's say in this case half, right? So, and then I would say, well, if you want your wife to get that, there's a cost. And you're going to say to me, well, what is that cost?
Right.
Well, sir, you would have gotten $3,100, but because in this case, if you want her to have it, we're only going to give you $2,600. You understand?
Gotcha.
So basically, the person's pension plan is reduced because of the
that
cost.
amount.
To
Yes.
that amount. You understand? Yeah. And I'm like explaining layman's term because this is what actually happened to most of you guys out there, and you guys may not even be aware of it, or you do it anyway.
So nobody explains it.
Nobody explained it the way it is,
That's
right? Right? So in this case, he understood. He said, of course. He said, if I don't, my wife's going to kill me.
Right.
Right? So he accepted. So he accepted the reduced pension plan that he's getting. Now, remember the wife is getting half. So she's going to get $1,500. But that's before taxed.
That's taxable.
That's taxable. So now you've gone from $1,500 now to around $1,200.
Right.
But to the wife, it's still, hey, money is money. I'm getting free money. Why not?
Right. But $1,200, that's not much.
Now keep in mind. So imagine if this happened. This wife, is going to get $1,200.
Right.
She thinks it's still better than nothing at all. But then if she ever passes away, let's say a year or 2, 3 years later, it's done. your pension plan basically done,
Closes.
finished, closes. You understand? So that's the standard what happens around. So I looked at the wife, and let's say if I had your wife here, Dr. Nalima, and I said, Dr. Nalima, can I ask you a question? If something happens to Dr. Raj, do you want to get $1,200 a month, or would you like $500,000
Right.
tax-free?
Well, what would be the obvious answer?
You know what?
Have-
So I tell some of these women, depends on the age and retirement. I say, if you can get between $250,000 up to $500,000 instead of that 1,200 or 2,000, whatever it is, what would you choose? I have never ever had one woman tells me I want the $1,200 or $1,500 or $2,000 a month.
Who would?
They want the other money.
Right.
And I looked at you and I said, you know what? Here's how in some cases it could happen. Not all cases, but
You can make it happen.
most of the cases.
Right.
Okay. Well, how does that happen? Ready?
Right.
Dr. Raj, so here's the deal. Before you accept that,
Right.
accept the spousal, okay? What we need to do is this. We need to see if I can take that portion, the $400 that you would have spent, and guess what, guys? You take that $400, create a life
Put it
insurance
in some, yes.
into a life insurance, because here's why. When you put that $400,000 into a life insurance, depends on the age, of course. It can range as permanent life insurance between $250 up to $500,000 for the amount of money that you would have spent. You understand? You're just
Right.
reallocating. You're just taking
fees into something.
you're
better.
putting something else. Now, here's why I want to do that, because I want to protect you, first of all.
Right.
The minute you take that money, put it over into a life insurance, the index IUL that I keep talking about, if you ever get sick, heart attack, strokes, Alzheimer, chronic, critical illness, any of those things, you now have access to another $250,000 or $500,000.
Right.
You. In addition to that, the account has an ability to create stream of income down the road,
How's that?
tax-free. Because inside the life insurance, there's an account that the money is towards S&P 500, the Dow Jones. So we're gaining momentum in interest crediting.
Right.
Not just the 3-4%, but basically what the performance
But
of the
what
market.
if the market goes down?
Well, inside this index IUL, most of you heard the floor is zero. So if the market goes down, they won't take money away from you, but they're just going to tell you, sorry, doc, we can't give you the credit because we didn't make any money, but we won't take money away from you, right?
I see.
So that kind of protected that. But most important thing is also, if anything ever happens to you, your wife basically becomes an owner of $500,000 account,
Right.
tax-free.
But isn't it age dependent? I mean,
It is age dependent, and that's why for 50, 60 years old,
works.
it works because I know how to work with the numbers.
Right.
That's why when I say between 250,000 to $500,000, it's because if someone's retiring at 70, of course, then they may be 250, right? But someone who's retiring 60 something, then we can definitely talk right in the latter range of $500,000.
so there's some hope for us old people,
As long as I can't do it past age 80.
but 70.
Anything below 80 I can manage, but if you're going above beyond that, it's kind of a little bit later,
right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you're not implying I'm that old, right?
No, oh, absolutely. You're young at
make
heart
sure.
always. But imagine you and I are sitting here today, and you know how many people out there in the audience right now
Oh, that's right.
that selected the survivor benefit pension when they could have, if we would have been in front of them before they retire and said, look, before you select that options, let's look at our options. Can you get qualified? Because after all, it is a life insurance. Remember, that's why I said to you, some I can make it happen, not all of everyone, because it's contingent upon the health. Now, you could have cholesterol, you can have
As
diabetes,
long as you don't have any
major stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, I have people, they've even had 2 or 3 split put in the heart, as well.
They still get it.
Yeah, I was surprised.
All right, that's amazing. Now, once they sign, you can change it, right? In other words, if they sign this benefit over to the wife, 1,200, you can't go back and
No,
change
yeah,
it.
yeah. So one of the things
It has to be decided initially.
yeah, it has to be decided initially. Yeah. So when people kind of do that, and then remember I said to you earlier, if the wife for some reason took over after the husband died, and if let's say she only used it a year or two, the thing stopped.
Right.
With this life insurance, okay, ready for this? Now, this is where the fun begins. Guy, this is where the fun begins. Let me tell you. So, husband passed away, the wife gets $500,000. I could take the $500,000. Remember, it's tax-free
Right.
because it's the life insurance. Life insurance is considered tax-free.
Okay.
I take that $500,000, created another stream of income for her with bonuses money on top. Now she has a stream of income for the rest of her life. And if she doesn't use all the money this time, that $500,000, let's say she only used $400,000. I mean, $100,000.
Reinvested.
That whatever that money's left, it goes to her new beneficiary. So her family now continue on the legacy of getting that $400,000, $200,000, whatever money she didn't use.
Right. Right.
Isn't that cool? I mean,
So that's pretty amazing. Otherwise, it'd be $1,200
that's it,
a month.
and it's done.
Right.
And it's done. And gosh, I wish I could stand on top of the woods, share these kind of things, because some of these people were working with a financial advisor and they didn't tell them this.
Right. Well, the regular advisors don't, again, do a deep dive as we discussed with our health. They just superficially want you to invest it in the SP 500 and market goes up and down every day.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, doctor, I have nothing against in the investment world because I'm using the same index as they do. I just feel very strongly that they need to diversify.
Right.
I've always said, doctor, three things could happen to you. You're either going to live too long, you need money. If you're going to die too soon, you want to leave a legacy. If you become sick, you better have something protected.
Right.
That's it. But, look, hey guys, today, if anything at all, please take away, check on your health, check on your wealth, check everything there is to make sure you're safeguard and all that. So, Dr. Raj, how do I get in touch with you?
That's a good question. Very easy. You can just call my cell at 703-932-1904 or my email, which is Dr. spelled out rmahra@gmail.com.
And you can get in touch with me at 703-608-1203 or Google Shirley Luu with Luu. So, until next time, guys, remember, we rise by uplifting others.